All right, let's dive into this. BYD's Denza brand.
Yeah.
This is a story, that's for sure.
Yeah, quite a journey.
From, back in 2010, starting as a joint venture with Mercedes-Benz.
It's on half.
Exactly, 50-50 split. And now, here we are, just this year, BYD takes full ownership.
It's a big move.
It is. So the big question we're going to try and tackle today, can Denza really make it as a high-end brand? Denza's early days, what was the thinking there? Partnering with Mercedes-Benz.
Well, back then, BYD, they were good, but not quite the global name they are now.
Still building that reputation.
Exactly. So Denza, it was all about tapping into that Mercedes, that luxury image.
Borrow some of that shine.
Exactly.
But then 2022 comes along. Denza D9 MPV hits the market, and it's a hit.
Yeah, the D9, that was a turning point for sure.
What'd that tell you?
Showed that BYD, they weren't just playing around anymore. Their tech, their design, it was all coming together.
Stepping up their game.
Big time. And they were already seeing success, right? Domestically, internationally, sales were climbing.
Yeah, momentum building.
So taking full control of Denza, well, it just makes sense.
From partnering for prestige to, we got this.
You got it.
But here's where it gets interesting, right? Denza is moving away from direct sales. Dealerships. That's the new play. Why the shift?
Well, direct sales, it works, but it's tough to scale quickly. Dealerships, they have those networks, those local connections.
It's on the ground.
And they're ready to go. Infrastructure's already there, sales, service, the whole package.
So it's about hitting the gas on expansion.
Exactly. Reach more customers faster.
Makes sense. But with dealerships, doesn't that mean Denza has to, change how they do business?
For sure. Pricing, incentives, marketing. Got to make sure those dealers are making money.
Keep them happy.
Got to keep them motivated, right?
Well,
Otherwise,
yeah.
the whole thing falls apart.
True. And here's something I noticed. Most of these new Denza dealerships, they're going to existing BYD dealers.
Oh, yeah. The Dynasty and Ocean Network, they're getting first dibs.
Is that smart? I mean, it's like, hey, you liked our BYDs? Now check out this fancier version.
It's brilliant. Think about it. These dealers, they already have a customer base. People who trust them, who know the BYD brand.
Familiar territory.
Now they can say, hey, you want to step up to something even better. It's a natural progression.
But can that loyalty really translate to, a higher price tag? Denza's a different beast, right?
It can. I saw it firsthand back when I was managing Audi dealerships.
The Audi days.
Yeah. You get someone who buys an A4, next thing you know, their family's in there looking at Q5s, A6s, the whole deal. Trust, it goes a long way.
It's that ripple effect.
Exactly. Word of mouth, family recommendations, it's powerful stuff.
So Denza's got that going for him, at least. But let's be real, not every Denza model's been a home run. They've had some hits and, some misses.
That's the car business, right? You're going to have some models that really click with people and some that, don't quite hit the mark.
Finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. The D9, that was a great start, but the M7 and N8 SUVs, they haven't quite caught on the same way.
And what about the Z9 GT? That sporty crossover, they just launched that, right? What's the buzz?
It's getting mixed reviews so far. Some people love it, some not so much.
Jury's still out.
Yeah, it's early days yet. We'll have to see how it plays out.
And have you heard anything about, quality issues with some Denza models? There have been a few things floating around online.
Yeah, there have been a few isolated reports, but nothing major.
So not like a widespread problem.
No, not at all. It's something to keep an eye on, of course. Especially when you're aiming for the higher end of the market.
Expectations are sky high.
Exactly. Any little slip-up gets magnified.
True. Well, speaking of high expectations, let's talk about this N9 SUV, the one everyone's waiting for.
Oh yeah, that's the big one.
Going head-to-head with some serious contenders.
The AITO L9, the AITO M9, that's a tough crowd.
No kidding. So what does Denza need to do to stand out in that arena?
Well, they've got to play to their strengths, right? BYD, they're known for their tech.
Batteries, hybrid systems, all.
And don't forget that disassay suspension. Pretty fancy stuff.
Yeah, that intelligent body control system, right.
You gotta leverage all of that.
Make it clear why Denza's the better choice.
Right, show that they're bringing something unique to the table.
Yeah.
Because in this segment, you've got AITO, they're killing it with those family-friendly SUVs.
Versatility and space.
And then you've got Huawei with the AITO M9, all about that tech integration, so Denza's got to find their niche.
Carve out their own space.
Exactly.
And speaking of tech, can we ignore the elephant in the room? Intelligent driving. It's changing everything.
Oh yeah, that's the future, no doubt about it.
Where does BYD stand in all of that?
They're up there, definitely in the top tier in China. But right now, Huawei, they're the ones to beat.
They're leading the pack.
Their AI, their software, it's a step ahead.
But BYD's not just sitting back, right?
AI.
They're partnering up, even with companies like, well, Huawei.
That's right. They're smart, working with the best to catch up.
So they're serious about this intelligent driving game.
Absolutely. They know they can't fall behind.
All right, so we've covered a lot about where Denza's come from, where they're headed. But the big question remains. Can they really break into that high-end market? Hit that ambitious goal? 600,000 units a year.
That's a tough one.
No sugarcoating it.
It's a huge challenge, but, I wouldn't count them out just yet.
There's potential there.
Definitely. But there are a lot of hurdles they've got to clear.
A long road ahead.
And we're just at the beginning. I mean, let's face it, breaking into the luxury market, in China especially, it's not a walk in the park.
It's tough.
Those customers, they know what they want. They're used to a certain level of, well, everything.
High standards.
Years of, Audi, BMW, Mercedes. They've set the bar pretty high.
So how does Denza even begin to compete with that?
Well, BYD, they've got the tech, that's for sure, especially on the EV front.
Right, that's their bread and butter.
But it can't just be about what's under the hood. You got to create that whole luxury experience.
It's the whole package.
The feeling, the service, everything has to scream premium.
Like you're not just buying a car, you're buying into a lifestyle.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've talked about the N9 SUV, which is coming soon. But to really make a dent in sales, they need a sedan, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's where the volume is.
The heart of the market.
You want to play with the big boys, you got to have a sedan that can take on the Audi A6, the BMW 5 Series, the Mercedes E-Class.
Wow, that's a tall order.
It is. But if they can pull it off...
Game changer.
Exactly. But it can't just be as good as... It's got to be better.
So what would that even look like? A Denza sedan that could actually compete at that level?
Well, think cutting edge, but also luxurious. Maybe driver assistance features that are a generation ahead, interiors that are, sustainable, high-end materials.
Appeal to those eco-conscious luxury buyers.
Exactly.
Yep.
Something that makes people go, wait, Denza's doing that now.
Turning heads.
That's the goal.
Okay, so let's say they build this amazing sedan. How do they actually convince people to choose it over those established brands? That's a tough sell.
It is. It all comes down to, marketing. Telling the right story.
Building that brand image.
You got to highlight what makes Denza unique. What do they stand for? What kind of buyer are they speaking to?
It's about more than just the car. It's the feeling, the aspirations.
Exactly.
But that takes time, right? You don't just change people's perceptions overnight.
Nope. It's a long game. You got to be consistent. You got to deliver on your promises.
And that includes the whole customer experience, right? From the dealership to the service department, it's got to be top-notch.
Oh, absolutely. Every interaction matters. You got to make those customers feel special, like they're part of something exclusive.
Pampered.
In the luxury world, that's everything. Think about it. What if you didn't even have to bring your car in for service?
Oh, like a concierge service?
Exactly. They come to you, take care of everything. That's the kind of experience that builds loyalty.
Makes you feel valued.
Right.
So we can't ignore the elephant in the room, or should I say the electric car in the room.
The EV revolution.
BYD's already ahead of the game there. Does that give Denza an advantage?
Absolutely. The whole industry is going electric, and BYD, they've got the expertise, battery tech, electric powertrains. They're leading the charge.
So Denza can ride that wave.
They can, but they can't get complacent. The competition's fierce. Everyone's jumping on the EV bandwagon.
Even the traditional luxury brands.
Exactly. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, they're all pouring money into EVs.
So what's BYD's secret weapon?
Well, they're vertically integrated. They control a lot of their own supply chain, meaning they can build cars more efficiently and often more affordably. That's a big advantage in the EV space.
Especially with prices all over the place right now.
Right.
But it's not enough to just build EVs, right? They have to be luxury EVs. Can Denza pull that off?
That's the million-dollar question. They got to convince people that luxury and sustainability can go together. These EVs, they got to be beautiful inside and out, high-end materials, that premium feel.
Like a 600-mile range wrapped in a head-turning design.
Exactly. That's the dream.
Appealing to those buyers who want it all.
Right. It's not just about being green anymore. It's about being the best.
Okay, so we've talked about the cars, the brand, the experience. But there's one thing we haven't touched on yet.
And that is?
The buyers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What makes these luxury car buyers tick?
Good point. They're a different breed, that's for sure. They're not just buying a car, they're buying an image, a statement.
Status symbols?
Sometimes, yeah. But it's deeper than that. They want something that reflects who they are, what they value.
So Denza has to tap into that, understand their motivations.
Absolutely. If they want to succeed, they need to know their customers inside and out.
It's about more than just building a great car. It's about connecting with the people who buy them.
Exactly. And that's what we'll explore further in our final part, the psychology of the luxury car buyer.
So we've really gone deep on Denza, haven't we? From those early days, partnering with Mercedes,
Yeah, a very different landscape back then.
to going solo, that whole shift to dealerships. And of course, those big
It's
ambitions.
600,000 units per year. That's a huge goal.
No doubt about it.
Mhm.
So let's cut to the chase. Can they actually do it? Can Denza crack that luxury market?
Honestly, it's a tough one to call. There's no magic formula. So many factors at play.
Like what? What are the biggest things they got to get right?
Well, the cars themselves, obviously, they've got to be exceptional. I mean, truly top tier.
More than just competitive.
Way beyond. Think groundbreaking tech, design that blows people away. The driving experience, it's got to be unforgettable.
They need to raise the bar. But we've talked about this. It's more than just the cars. It's the whole brand, that luxury feeling, you know.
Oh, absolutely. They need to create this image, this story that resonates with luxury buyers.
Something that sets them apart.
Right. What does Denza stand for? Who is the Denza driver? They've got to answer those questions.
And make it aspirational, right? Something people want to be a part of.
Exactly.
And let's not forget the customer experience. That's got to be flawless.
From the moment you walk into the dealership to every service interaction, it has to feel premium.
Every touch point matters.
Make the customer feel valued, pampered even.
But even if they nail all that, there's still this huge challenge, right? Those established brands, they have loyal customers.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. People who drive a Mercedes, a BMW, they're not going to switch easily.
So how do you break through that?
Denza has to offer something truly different, something those other brands don't have.
Disrupt the market?
Exactly. Make people question their assumptions about luxury. But it's a long game, you know?
You know, quick wins.
You got to be patient, keep pushing, keep innovating. Prove yourself over time.
Earn that respect.
Right. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Well said. So as we wrap up, it really feels like Denza's at a crossroads. All this potential, but huge challenges too.
Definitely a pivotal moment.
BYD's got the tech, Denza's making bold moves. But will it be enough? Can they really carve out a space in that luxury market? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Denza. It's been a fascinating ride.